Moving onward to our next session, delivering digital reward experiences. Introducing our thought leader, Mr. Santhosh Reddy, co founder and VP of Tech at ShakePe. Mr. Reddy is a technology leader with 15 years of global experience, specializing in end to end technology solutions. He has led multi million dollar accounts, shaped technology roadmaps, and co founded ShakeDeal as CTO, focusing on solving B2B industry pain points. A huge round of applause for Mr. Santhosh Reddy.
Good afternoon, everyone. Are you guys having fun? Yes? Okay. I certainly am having a lot of fun. I've had a lot of very interesting discussions with some of the thought leaders here, learning a lot. Because this is a customer experience event, what I'm going to talking about is the experience of giving rewards. Who likes rewards? Incentives? Everyone, right? Yes. Rewards and incentives are a very, very important part of any organization, right? Be it for motivating your employees, your salespeople, to achieving your revenues, targets, whatever it is, right? What we have seen is that a lot of companies put a lot of thought into the rewards, but very few people concentrate on the experience, the entire experience of the rewards, right? And this is what I'm here to talk about. Before that, just a quick introduction. I'm Santhosh Reddy. I'm a co-founder of ShakeDeal and ShakePe. Just a quick journey. We started ShakeDeal in 2016, me and my co-founders Akash and Akshay. ShakeDeal is a B2B based procurement company, right? We deal with a lot of enterprises and help them in their procurement needs. And in 2018, we partnered with Aura Ventures. Aura Ventures is a US based equity firm. And in 2021 is when we started a new vertical called ShakePe, entirely to concentrate on gifting and rewards, right? Rewards and recognitions, as you might call it. Just a quick numbers. So far, in this last 4 years, 3-4 years approximately, we have dispersed close to 300 CR worth of rewards. We have reached 1 lakh plus end customers who have used our rewards, and then 100 plus clients, right? Just a quick introduction. Now, these are all some of the major clients whom we have worked with. As you can see, rewards and recognitions doesn't have boundaries. There's no sector, it's not sector specific, it's not industry specific. As you can see with our clients, we have worked with banking clients, we have worked with pharma clients, we have worked with manufacturing companies, we have worked with automobile companies, oil and gas, you name it. Usually it's a long tail problem, right? Every company needs to plan all these rewards and incentives. Now, let's understand what does it take to deliver a great reward experience, right? Mainly digital, but let's generalize and say what does it take to deliver a great reward experience. Based on our experience, where we have worked with 100 plus clients, large enterprises, small enterprises and all that, what we have found is that there are 3 main important aspects for delivering a great reward experience, right? We call it the 3 S's. And those are, first, seizing the moment. What do I mean by that? Seizing the moment is irrespective of how early or how later you're planning your rewards and incentives programs. If you don't do it at the right time, half the essence of the reward is lost, right? Let's take a simple example of a birthday. Someone is wishing for a birthday, they want to reward you as a company or something. If it gets delayed by 1 day, do you think the employee will appreciate it? Right? More often than not, it kind of backfires, right? First of all, you're giving a reward, but because it's not at the right moment, it backfires you, right? The customer might be angry, the employee might be angry because of that. So, seizing the moment is a very, very important aspect of it, right? It might sound very simple, that okay, I know, we have to time it right and all that. But if you work with a large organizations, the amount of approvals it requires and all that, it's more difficult than what it seems, right? So this is a very, very important aspect of it. If you get this right, 50% of your intent of giving a reward is achieved just by that. Second, the process of curating these rewards needs to be very, very simple. Whom I am talking about here? I am actually talking about the person responsible for curating this rewards or an incentives program. Now, what we have seen is as the organization grows from small to medium, medium to large, this process becomes more and more difficult. Why? You have a budget, but then you have to go through lots of hoops, right? To get those approvals, you have to interact with totally different teams, and then that might take certain number of time. You're using different mediums to get that. The approvals don't happen on time, and because of which, you miss this. So it's very, very important that the process of creating or curating these rewards and incentives programs should be as simple as possible, right? And the third aspect is make it as seamless as possible for the end user to consume the reward. This is equally important as for the person curating, because if the experience is bad for the end user who is actually consuming the reward, then again, some essence is lost in that, right? The idea is for the end user, make the process as seamless as possible so that he enjoys the entire process of receiving this reward, right? So just to reiterate, 3 S's of delivering a great digital reward experience: seize the moment, make it as simple as possible for the person who's actually curating it, and third, make it as seamless as possible for the person who is actually consuming the reward. Now, I don't want to talk about ShakePe's products and offerings, but instead, I want to talk about a few use cases where we have worked with clients, where we have delivered a great reward experiences for them, depending on their particular use case, right? Excuse me. Now, I have grouped them into 3 different use cases. One, consumer promotions, influencer incentivizations, and channel and sales incentivizations, right? What I'll do is probably I'll go through this journeys of some of these use cases on how we went about solving these problem statements, what our clients had, and how we ended up giving a great reward experience for the entire stakeholders, right? Consumer promotions. Now, this is a very interesting use case. How many of you have received rewards from banks? Some or the other form, right? And how long does it take for you to get that reward? Generally a few days. For example, they launch a campaign today and then it takes a very long time, right? Now, this is not the bank's problem, right? Because there are so many hurdles for banks to go through if they have to deliver such kind of rewards for you. So the problem statement here, where we worked with the private bank, was pretty simple. The SLA, or the time to market for a reward campaign, was very long. We have to make it short. How do we make it short? By ensuring that bringing all the different stakeholders who are responsible for these particular managing the reward campaigns into one single platform. And then the third, for the end customer, for the end user, make the experience as smooth as possible, right? So, like I said, reduce campaign go live times, and at the end of it, also give them detailed insights on how the entire campaign performed, right? Yeah, so what we did, like I said, we developed a very, very simple, back-end dashboard for them, where they could, the person, we call it the requester, who is responsible for curating this reward campaign. He comes, defines the reward campaign. He says, okay, I have, he defines all these different user cohorts. I have so many users. I want to give, let's say, 100 users 500 rupees per reward. And then I have 200 users who I want to give them 1,000 rupees. And let's say another 300 users for a different amount, right? Now, the moment the process is as simple as possible, probably it'll take like a couple of minutes for him. The moment he does that, it gets sent for approvals, right? For all the stakeholders who are involved in this. Once the approval happens, and the notifications of all this happens via different channels, emails, WhatsApp, SMSs, and all that. And approving the process is give the person who's approving as much information as possible so that he get to see entire details there and approves it. Once the approval happens, the system, you have two options. The system can take care of distributing those rewards. In this case, the reward is in the form of codes, right? Which the customer will receive and then he will redeem that. So the system can take care of it, or we can, the person can download the codes and use this distribution mechanism to deliver those codes. And once the customer receives it, it's as simple as it's a link, right? It can be two ways. One, it can be linked to that particular person alone, or keep it open in such a way that whoever uses the code will get to redeem this. Now, just by this, if you look at it from a experience point of view, from a person who's actually curating the reward, it's not, because it's a kind of a customized curated solution, it's very simple. You don't see all the 100 different options for managing this, just specifically tailored for the task which you are doing, right? And second, for a person who's actually consuming the reward, it's pretty straightforward. It's a two-step process and he gets to redeem the award. Third, this is another interesting use case where we worked with the FMCG company, right? It's interesting because this is for managing what is called as on-ground activations, right? Now, this company launched a few products which were there in stores. They wanted to get feedback about the product, right? So what we did, we created a QR-based solution where QR code was placed with the promoter who's sitting there, and the person, he explains about the product, and the customer goes and makes a purchase. And the customer, there's a QR code, scans it, opens a WhatsApp channel. Immediately, he says, okay, there is this particular campaign which is running, for which, if he has bought a product, he has to upload a bill. Now, our system is intelligent enough to understand what all products, for example, if the customer has bought the product or not, if he has bought, what is the volume of it, how many different products, and depending on that, a scratch card gets sent to him, identifying, congratulations, you have made so-and-so purchases, and this is your reward, right? That instant gratification for the customer makes a lot of difference, right? And this, he ends up saying to probably, a few other friends of his, and because of which, the entire idea of the on-ground activations, right, really takes off because of the instant gratification nature and using the technology in a very smart way, right? So in this case, it's about identifying the bill and ensuring that it's the right SKUs and what is the amount and everything. Influencer gifting. Now this is where we worked with one of the auto parts OEM. In this case, even though we are talking about digital rewards experience here we had to gift mechanics, right? Now what is the challenge with mechanics? You can't expect everyone to have a smartphone, right? And everyone to, let's say, be savvy enough for them to either scan a code or send a message or do a WhatsApp conversation or something. So here what we did is we worked with the company to identify what is the best way to ensure that the reward reaches to the mechanics. So we found that they had a distributor network, right, where the mechanics were actually buying their particular products from. So we thought, okay, it will make sense to involve the distributor in this process, right? Earlier, what used to happen is that, similar case, all the distributors, retailers and all that, they used to print a reward, a scratch card or something, which had to be shipped to all these distributors or retailers, and then that had to be given to the mechanics. In this case, we developed a very smart link solution, right? We identify, okay, this is the region, this is the distributor, these are the number of retailers who are there, and this is the size of the particular distributor reach. And accordingly, we gave them, in this case, I think, I don't know if it was 250 rupees or 500 rupees or 150 rupees, right? This 150 rupees, how many retailers or the mechanics he has to reach for this, accordingly, we gave them so many links. Now the distributor, all he had to do is, this is more of a phygital experience, right? The distributor gets the link, which is digital. When he clicks it, everything is branded as per the organization or the client. But then all he has to do is print it, print those vouchers, make a note of it. For example, in this case, each link had 20 different vouchers. Make a note of it, and then start distributing it, right? So what happened here is that the entire logistics of managing the entire thing became very, very simple. And then there was visibility from a client perspective saying how many are getting used, what dealers are actually using this, dealers or distributors, and whether they're using it or not, right? Yeah, so another use case is basically, where a leading mobile brand, before they launch a new brand, typically what happens is that a lot of testing has to be done, right, on there. So they onboard, the testing is almost crowdsourced with different people. So here what they do is that they wanted to reward their testers who report their bugs. So we gave them a platform to report the bugs, and where you can set up rules depending on the priority of the bug which has been identified and all that. Certain number of points gets distributed to them. And through that, we gave them a standard white label platform where, as a rewards company, we are partnered with close to 170 brands within India, and we have international catalog as well. Through this platform, the testers, as and when they accumulate the points, they were able to use those points at their, and on their favorite brands, right? Yeah, so this is another quick 1 minute, because it's an interesting use case. More about, right now the buzzword is about embedded loyalty. What is embedded loyalty? Let's say you have a portal, you have an app, your platform, a learning platform, whatever it is. For every action, you want to reward those users, right? How do you typically do that? There has to be some kind of integration. So we give you a dashboard where you can actually define a campaign which is action based. For example, when a sign up happens, so many points get allocated to him. When he completes, let's say 50% of the course, so many points. And when he completes a certification, so many points. So this way, again, even if the campaign is live, tomorrow if I identify a new action which the user has to take, it's as simple as going to that campaign, adding a new action, and then it gets immediately distributed for in their respective platform and everything, right? So very interesting use case where if in your existing apps and portals and all that, you are able to embed a loyalty program, right? So ultimately, as a closing note, what we have seen, or rather what we have experienced, is that a one-size-fits-all approach will not work. And especially when you're talking about large enterprises and all that, this approach is, generally we have standardized solutions, like we have our points-based solutions and all that. What it means is that it needs to be tailored for your use case if you want to concentrate on the rewards experience, right? For that, what we have done is, we have developed all this building blocks, so to say. Like we spoke about QR codes, we spoke about scratch cards, we spoke about links, and right now we are experimenting with AR and all that. The idea is, depending on the use case, if we have to optimize on the reward experience, right? It's very, very important to stitch together a tailored experience so that there is that, when someone is receiving a reward, there is a satisfaction, right? He feels happy about it. That's the entire point. So thank you once again. And if you have any questions or clarifications or something, we'll be there, me and our team. So we'll be very happy to discuss, your reward solutions and understand how you are exactly distributing your rewards and incentives. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Santhosh Reddy, for sharing your insights on delivering digital rewards experience. To do the honors, I request Ms. Saraswati Kadil, Director of Digital Transformation at Movit, to please join us on the dais.